Hi, this is Tom Crandall from Gear Mashers, and I'm here with Todd Van Fleet. And I saw these amazing pictures. He takes pictures of bikes and puts them in amazing places, and they're antique bikes, which I thought was really, really awesome. So I'm going to let you take over and just sort of talk about your artwork, how you got inspired to do this, and just, what motivated you to actually start the company.
Yeah, I had been doing landscape photography for 20 years prior to focusing on just the bikes, and honestly got a little bit bored of just doing the typical landscapes you're used to seeing. Found one of these bikes at a garage sale for $10, and I was like, that's a score, and I'm going to do something cool with that bike. I didn't know what it was at the time.
Did you feel like one of those antique pickers?
Oh, I am so wired like those guys, for sure. I mean, that's the thrill of the hunt is what's the most exciting thing about this project is like finding the bike. So that becomes part of my creative process, is finding the bike.
Okay.
And then honestly, the bikes will give me ideas.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's been places that I've taken these bikes to that I wouldn't have typically thought to go just take a photograph, because it would have just been, kind of boring. But putting the bike into the scene and then figuring out how to incorporate the bike into the scene of the landscape has just brought in this whole new creative challenge that makes this more exciting for me.
So as far as like traveling to these locations, do you have to have a van, or how many bikes do you usually bring out when you
So man, I've had a variety of different vehicles that I've done this in, and I used to have this lifted crazy Jeep that I'd load the roof rack and the back rack up with them, driving through rivers and all kinds of crazy places, the back of pickup trucks. I've loaded up an RV. I rented this big crazy truck in Arizona. There's a picture of it down there, that we went to these slot canyons and hauled bikes into the places. But yeah, anywhere I'll take a single bike. I'll take multiple bikes. I've hiked them, throw them on my shoulder. I've hiked into like Delicate Arch National Park, crazy slick rock trails.
So the locations that you take all these pictures, obviously you sort of scope them out. Or they just sort of sometimes randomly happen where you're out there and you're like, man, this is like a cool place to go. Or like,
I'd say a majority of them I've scouted out. Okay. I'll do as much research as I can on the location and what it's going to take to get there, because when I first started doing it, I was like, I'll grab this bike and go here, and then failed, right? Because I couldn't get the bike into the spot, or it was just logistically too hard.
I noted on the other side there, he's got a really cool picture of, I believe it's an airplane, and the bike's inside the airplane.
Oh, yeah, man.
So did you have to take the bike apart in order to do that?
I did. So people are always like, what is this? It's a shot that looks like it's in this huge tunnel, and it's the upper deck fuselage of an old DC-7 like warplane, and there's like this tiny hatch that I had to maneuver the bike up into. So I'd take the wheels and the handlebars off, get it up in, reassemble the bike, set it up, shoot it, wait till I was happy with the shot, take it apart, get out again, right?
So not only are you having to bring your bikes, you're having to bring a bunch of tools in order to take the bikes apart.
Yeah, I've got a handful of tools that are in my camera bag, and people are like, it's just what I do.
So, all right, talking about cameras, I'm shooting off an A7 III, Sony guy, but obviously you're a Canon guy, right?
Yeah, I am a hardcore Canon guy. I've just got so much invested in all of the different lenses, and now the camera bodies, and currently on a 5D Mark IV. I've had this camera for a while, and excited to see what Canon's going to do next, but it's working for me.
So as far as like when you're taking pictures, me being a photographer, how many shots do you actually take at a particular scene before you're like, this is it?
Yeah. Oh, hundreds probably. Okay. I mean, I'll get back and I'm culling through a few hundred shots at least, at minimum, to get hopefully, one shot. And I've done stuff on, taking road trips where, gigs and gigs of footage and stills, and I'm, sift through them. There's still shots that I've taken years ago that I'm still trying to figure out if there's if there's stuff there, if there's content there, because I'll get super excited about one shot and just forget about like a lot of other things that I get, because I get excited about whatever shot that I'm
totally
got.
understand.
But yeah.
So as far as Interbike, this is your first time here, I understand,
first time
and so
Interbike.
you're like, all right,
Super pumped to
just
be
testing out the waters.
Yeah.
We're obviously in Reno, Nevada. This is Interbike 2018. So if someone wants to get some of your products, so you have canvas and you have metal, is that correct?
Yep.
And so, and then different sizes. So they can order any size they want, or how's that work?
I start at 16 by 24, and then I go up from there. And that's one of the ways I'm trying to differentiate myself from other photographers. You go to art festival or whatnot, and you can buy a small print. And I've just said, I've kind of put a stake in the ground. I'm like, I'm going to start here and go up, and just try and categorize myself or differentiate myself in that regard. And printing on metal and canvas, I've been pushing people to the metal because the color is incredible.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. And then, what's the biggest project you've done so far?
Oh, geez. Biggest project that I've done.
I saw one in somebody's, I don't know if it was a house or an office building or something like that, and it was like massive.
Yeah, I've worked with interior designers. Last fall, we did an image, took one of these images and printed it 18 feet wide by 9 feet tall in a surgery center on glass.
Wow.
And so there's a hallway that you walk down, and there's just this huge image of, encapsulated on glass in this hallway. And last year I was super fortunate. I got the opportunity. I was invited to do an exhibit at Denver International Airport. It was supposed to be a 6-month display. It turned into 9 months.
Holy cow.
I got so much awesome exposure. That's what's actually projected, to invest in this stuff and like be here at Interbike, and trying to do a lot of events this year and just get myself out there.
All right. So if someone wants to buy your art, and what's the best way to contact them? Or contact you?
Yeah, well, if you're at Interbike, you can come to my booth. But on my website, toddvanfleet.com, I've got the whole thing built out that you can select an image, you select a size, you select the medium, and then it gets drop shipped to your door in about a little less than 2 weeks.
All right, perfect. Well, Todd, thank you so much.
Hey,
I'm glad I stopped by here. This was awesome.
Totally.
Thanks so much.
Dude. Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care.